What is up, one and all, and welcome back. You are indeed first. You are very thirsty today. What is up? It is time for quarterfinals Tuesday. That doesn't really have the same ring to it as grand finals Thursday. Well, I say it's quarterfinals Tuesday. We've still got a few things to resolve in the round of 16, so I thought we'd actually get a nice head start on that. We're going to have Wham versus Flutter Otto, followed up by Cat versus Starflark, and then we're tuning into Dumu versus Lash live into either Lash versus B or Dumu versus B. I've been told the B is on standby, ready to pounce for that series. It's going to be a hype day. And then on top of that, we've got LuMT versus Numadon, Anatand versus either Cat or Starflark, and then Voldemort up against the winner of our first series of the day. Yeah, I'm sensing a 9-hour stream here. Anyone else feeling that? Yeah, I can smell it. It's going to be a 9-hour, probably. Dude, like, I need to get life. Go outside, touch grass, touch booba. Well, probably don't touch booba. Too soon after snip step. Anyway, we are going to be checking in on Wham vs Flutter Otto to kick us off. And interesting drafts coming out, actually. Roos getting through. Like, this is a very intriguing dynamic now that I think about it. Wait, was that actually a Chinese pick first? Because it should have been pro pick for Wham, if I'm not mistaken. Based on seeding. Let me just double check that. Because that's very curious if so. He values China higher. Yeah. He picked China. Because remember, the way it works is higher seeding will have first pick, right? Which can be pretty big advantage, especially in best of threes, to be totally honest with you guys. Like, I'd say, actually, in BO5s, the value point of that disintegrates a bit. But in a BO3, man, like, that's just 50% of what you need to win, right? But he left Roos. I just remember I need to make myself a drink. Safe place where you can run from work? Whoa. Okay, like, dude, do we need to get you some chores to do here instead? Is that how that works now? Like, you think you're safe here? We'll find you some work. Maybe we'll make you a mod as well. Probably not. You love Wham? Yeah, Wham's been building up a nice little fan base. I was talking with my editor about this, because obviously we've been doing some different things with thumbnail. I don't know, like, we'll see if I'm proven right or wrong. But I said to him, like, my feeling is, like, and I had this historically, whenever it comes to, like, including players on thumbnails, it's very hard to actually make that work with AoE4 people. Outside of Viper, so it was Viper, Marine Lord, Beastie, Dumu, and I think there's another one I'm forgetting, with the obvious ones around AoE4. Like, anyone else, it doesn't matter, like, it's a little bit sad, actually. It doesn't matter, like, they're, like, the best. It's very hard to lock in the wider YouTube audience on those thumbnails. Hera, yeah, but, like, Hera I don't really think of for AoE4. Viper actually participated for quite a while, right? Hera had, like, done a few months and then left, whereas Viper even went and played Red Bull Waterloo. So, yeah, he's, like, he's why I consider him in there. Mr. maybe. I think even, the weird thing is, I feel like to the wider audience, even Mr.'s a little bit niche by comparison. That's not to say he's not good and everything else, but, like, if you were to ask widespread RTS fans, right, just pluck them out from RTS as a category. All these names, the ones that would come up the most frequently would be like Marine Lord, Dumu, Beastie, Viper, I think. Are the people that play in AoE4 anyway. So it's very interesting with that. Whereas, like, even though Wham and Poppy Paw are, like, very, very talented top 6, top 8s, same with, like, Anatand, they don't really have the same name cadence. I would say Louis has built it up within the AoE4 scene, but that's because I think he's literally just become the pillar of the Chinese scene. Like, I don't think there's a bigger Chinese creator consistently in Age of Empires 4 than that guy now, if I'm not mistaken. What's up, Stadon Teal? See you, buddy. Hello, Mum. How's it going? All right, so G1, we're going to be starting off with China versus Japanese, by the way. Dude, you don't even hold out on him. You whip out the big boy straight away. Woo! What I'm a little bit surprised about, actually, is the fact there wasn't a Roos pick. Maybe that's because Floro anticipated, like, what he's going to be up against here, and thought it would be just kind of counterplayed. Let's find out. Let's hop in. I fixed the lag issues, by the way. It turns out, yeah, like, reverting to the older driver stabilized it all. I just needed to do a clean AMD. I need to use the AMD cleanup utility first, because it had residual effect like the new one. And, of course, that minimap has gone up again. Dude, I can't catch a break with this thing. And in we go. That's right. Welcome back to the channel, folks, for Flutter Otto up against Wham. Yes, an unfamiliar sight right now. People are already like, wait, who the hell? Who is Flutter Otto? He's a new face, actually, going up against the scary boogeyman that is Wham. You got to remember, the Wham is the guy to beat currently, our reigning champion. Flodorado, I think we've maybe featured him once or twice in the channel before. He's an up-and-comer. Like, he's got some capabilities, but he's in the infant stages, shall we say, is flourishing as a player. In fact, at the time of recording, Flodorado is 450th, so he slipped a little bit. Usually he's in that 100 to 300 range. I figured it'd be cool to kick off the day, checking on him. This is what it's about, right? Like, he made it in the top 16, and I want to be able to show off players that aren't always going to be here. I don't think he minds me saying that. Like, compared to Wham, who has just won back-to-back midweek musters, Flodorado is definitely the underdog. Interesting draft, by the way. Like, something you guys are going to want to note here is higher seed has first pick. Do you notice what happened there? Roos was allowed through. Isn't going to be utilized in the first game, but I think that's strategic for Flodorado. He doesn't want to do the Chinese versus Roos matchup. But what is interesting is the fact that China wasn't discarded, right? It was valued higher than Roos. And what is up, Faplop? I see you the sub. Thank you much, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, curious about that, really. I mean, I do think that HRE is proving itself to maybe not be as potent as people were expecting originally. But, like, for Roos, it's worth its weight in gold, right? And especially for a player like Wham, now that I think about it. Like, Wham loves Roos, historically. He looks on top of the world when he gets his hands on it. But it could be something to do with the map draft. Like, we're talking Gorge, Dry Arabia, Receding. Then again, like, any of those maps could be applicable for a Roos pick. Not like it just feels terrible to utilize it on any of those. So Imperial Academy on the way. Pretty standard stuff so far. The Deer Shove is also pretty standard. He also was able to scare Wham away absurdly quick. A little bit surprised by that. I guess it's the issue for Wham is he would have liked to have lain the deer, but it's the choke points that make it very hard. So, like, you know, you can't just kite around a spear. You're stuck trying to, like, wide rotate. And think about the logic, right? If you have to walk all the way around the tree line like this, he just walks like this. It's a short distance. He cuts you off every time. So I think Wham just accepted it for what it was going to be. Didn't want to waste his time. And for good reason. He is losing the sheep race by a mile. Luckily, checking the corner, or not checking the corner, rather, is going to be a good thing here. Because Wham, I mean, he's got like nothing. All right, this is where Pro Scouts is just a game changer. Without Pro Scouts, like if this was a PS matchup, I think Wham would be up Traps Creek without Paddle right now. To show you the difference maker it is. And that's the weird thing about Pro Scouts, right? Like, I know some people have been calling for it to be completely removed from the game. But with Sheep RNG, I think if you completely remove it from the game, you make the game worse currently. You can't fix the deer interaction fully. You can nerf it, but you can't remove it or fully rework it until you fix the sheep issue. And this is the sheep issue to the maximum. Like, Wham is in the corner, man. 4 sheep to 19. And it's going to be more than that still. He's got about, what, 3 or 4 sheep left, I think, in the area? Good lord. And not just that, he's got the deer underneath the TC. Flodorado has ticked every single box imaginable in this game. That is crazy. And this is probably going to be, what, standard fast castle? I actually love the idea of an aggro play. I don't know if he's going to go for it, but, like, actually playing Yumi plus Horseman makes a lot of sense here. Your opponent's got, like, no food. He needs to get food home ASAP. You could easily play blocker here. It's going to be stables beginning. So Wham feeling ultra greedy. I mean, you have to. You're sitting on 3 sheep. If you don't greed straight into Pro Scouts, you die. Like, delaying this going into racks, you just won't have any food income. You'll be on berries. Hope we see Flodorado win. China is a bit of a stronger civ than Japan, though. Yes. China is just, like, basically top of the A tier. And then Japan is... I don't like... Japan's kind of surprising. I'd say, like, high B tier, maybe low A tier now. I don't know. They've seen some big rises due to the deer shove meta with the spears. Probably in the B tier than the upper end. Some people now are shocked, like, KP, what? You just said China is not S tier? I thought they were. Like, pros have it on S all the time. My tier lists tend to reserve S for gets banned all the time or almost all the time. So, like, right now, my S tier list is HRE, Roos, Knights Templar. I'd say, like, the ones there. So don't make any mistakes about it. China's an insanely strong civ. It's just, like, it does actually get through the banning phase. We've got the German community turning up. They gotta hope that boy. Always love to see new faces in the KPMM. That is someone that still warms my heart to this day. When we were in Germany, we met one or two people who played in KPMMs who were unknown to the community. I think Rivtor was one of the people there, if I remember correctly. And he talked about how much like KPMM actually helped him improve as a player. Right? Like he's nowhere near pro level, he doesn't mind me saying, but he felt like he was learning so much, and it's something that was missing from the scene that he wouldn't have without it. You too, Plutonius. Wait, in Hamburg? Yeah. My brain for a second there. I was like, were we in Hamburg? Dude, it's because I've been to Hamburg through my esports career for different reasons. So my brain was like, ESL? This is intriguing from Floro, by the way. Why remove the deer when you could remove the player, is my thought. Oh, no. I don't doubt that we met. My brain was like, I was trying to remember if the garrison was in Hamburg. For some reason, I convinced myself for a second it was elsewhere. Like I said, it's because I've been to Germany more times than anywhere else in my esports career. All over as well, right? Like, so like Hamburg, Berlin. Where else am I forgetting? There's been like 4 or 5 different locations I've been to regularly. I've forgotten the name of the cities that I've been to. That's weird. Dude, I'm usually so good with geography, but my brain now is like trying to remember the ones I've been to. It would be Cologne. Those are Cologne, Frankfurt, Stuttgart. I've been to like almost all the major cities actually in Germany now that I think about it. The only one I haven't been to is Munich. And I guess... Actually, no, there's a few, right? It's like Munich, Dusseldorf, Leipzig. Dude, I'd love to go to Leipzig. Back when they were doing the DreamHack events there. Okay, so Wham is going full aggro, and I don't blame him. I thought Floro was going to take advantage of this, but... I mean, instead, he just kind of let his opponent get the greed he needed. Right? We've got berries for the time being, but now the deers are starting to show up. So, like, he's fairly safe. What might not be safe is Flodorado. He's going to trigger the tech up. Wham has balanced himself kind of nicely here. Just a few spears, a few archers. I mean, he can rush the age at a decent pacing behind this, but instead, he's looking to deny the gold to stop the units from even coming out. And this, folks, is where Yuumi would have changed the game entirely for Flodorado. Just a handful to lay this down. And wait, could you guys hear my Telegram? Dude, like, yeah, I closed it. I hate it when, like, Telegram is... I've got desktop Telegram, but I minimize it, I remove it, and it still somehow pings. WhatsApp's a good boy, but Telegram is a pain in the ass. We'll see if this pays off. I mean, he hasn't got the stone for the daimyo. I don't know, man. Like, I think this is just Flodorado. Sometimes you get choice overload. You know what I mean? Like, he got everything. Everything. He got practically all the sheep. I think this is like an 80-20 split, and that's being generous. I think it's actually worse than that. He got deer shove in without any sort of lame on it at all. And, like, what are you meant to do with that, right? Like, you've given the whole world. Of course you're going to try to buy a skyscraper. But then you buy the skyscraper and discover that, oh, no, I've got to pay, like, rent on the land still, even though I bought it. I've got to pay maintenance. The mafia happens to own this place. The Canadian mafia of that? Nah, dog, it's all looking wrong right now. Ram's going to move in. Flodorado has got enough gold to get together a few hardened samurai. He cannot afford veterancy, though. And the outpost is in trouble. He can't keep it alive. It's going to go down. Villagers are going to get chased away. That's no gold access, but this can be fixed. This can be fixed very easily by Flodder. He has got the gold over here, but he hasn't built a forge. Kind of crazy, actually. Like, he's got the food. He's gathering probably way too much wood with 11 on it right now. First Mount Samurai comes out, but in the face of so many spears, and just look at the economy from Wham. He's not that far off of his castle timing. Flodder, I mean... Samurai's an interesting idea. It's not terrible per se. It makes sense. But it does require that you can actually afford the upgrade. Because right now, you're basically a feudal army with one uniquely powerful unit. Used to have one uniquely powerful unit. That guy's gone. Flodder in a panic. Just trying to protect that stables. That Euroshiro drop stables that he can't even use. And in the end, it does become a Yuumi transition. After all that greed... He ends up going back to the thing that he could have been prepping an age earlier. Wait, dude, you didn't even get this sheep. Okay, it doesn't matter. He's still won by a mile on the sheep ball. And I feel bad for Floro. I think, like, looking back at this game, maybe just a little bit too linear of a move. I wondered, like, I'd have to double check. I don't think Floro even necessarily scouted this all-in timing coming. It's just crazy. I think he got tunnel vision because, like, Wham's done a good job of applying pressure to force his reaction. So Flodorado, no stage thought, yes, I've got 5 workers out here, and there's an 8k gold vein right next to us. It's like, okay, guys, I need you to go over the gold. They're like, why do you want us over the gold? We can't eat gold, idiot. Like, no, not to eat it, to gather it. Dude, I'm like elbow deep in deer guts here. Like, you're gonna have to be more specific. Where am I meant to pull a pickaxe out of my butt? Whatever it was, the villagers did not want to do it. To make matters worse, the scouts have shown up. They found out what's happening here. Ram's probably got a creeping smile, realizing the gold never got touched. This one Ram, I mean, talk about the MVP. Takes an outpost, takes out the Yoshura stables. It's already at work on the floating gate. Flodoro also with no marketplace, so he hasn't even tried to sell wood to get the gold, to get anything in this game. To make matters worse, Wham's going to show him what gold really looks like by sending him down to that rank. We've got 4 Lancers queued up already. Archers to follow up as well. He can get the veterancy, shoot sweet, courtesy of supervision. Flodorado will get nothing in this game. I wonder if this is uploadable. I think it's intriguing to kind of see how quickly things can unravel. Like, there's actually very interesting educational bits in this game about the importance of flexing your strategy a little. It's also, I think, inspirational because I know a lot of people in the ladder will be struggling against these Japanese fast castle builds still to this day. And this shows you how, like, as if the Chinese can just roll it from a inferior position, really. Make no mistake about it. This little Otto is getting rolled entirely. He's got Mass Yumi coming against Lancers. He has at least got the spin added in. But this stage, Floro still hasn't been gathering the gold. He only just got back on it. He hasn't got the veterancies yet. The Ram. Is it finally going to die? I think he has got it. But he's pulling him away intentionally. Check this. He's about to discover why. Yeah, he's going to go for the run back now, but with only Tawara, he's not going to be quick enough. The Lancers would cut him off. I mean, where I'm going here is kind of actually beneficial to Flodorado. I think he was assuming that Flotter would take the gold. Obviously, Wham wants the deer. Sure, I get it. But you're definitely not going to starve your opponent out on food. You've given him access to gold again. I think Wham just doesn't care because between the worker kills and the catch-up on age, he's in full control. You're a shooter up in the TC? I mean, sure, but he's got, like, no production right now. You're behind on military, and remember, Yumi are inferior. And they're at least going to be nice against the hardened spears. You know the spears are just a discarded unit now. 4 boys are rallying in. We've got Wham playing out to 4 as well. I mean, the wildlife felt so bad for Flodorado, they actually aligned with him to get that worker kill. No Daimyo? Yeah, but like to get Daimyo, you'd have to be gathering gold, right? That's the painful reality of this game. Flash comes in. Those spearmen are still not upgraded. He only just triggered the veterancy. That's a whole minute away. And I don't think Flodorado actually has a minute in this game. No, we're almost at breaking point here, folks. Wham up to 12 Lancers now. Ranged Armor 2 coming in. That's going to be the commitment point. Behind this, I mean, he could actually step into Relics if he wanted to. Yeah, there we go. He has actually done it now. Like, there's 2 choices. You just double down or you go, like, Relics. I think Wham is ahead enough that he can actually double down and go Relics, weirdly enough. What's the recovery out now for Flodder? Onimusha's not a bad idea. You've got a decent amount of Yumi, but the problem is, like, he can't see whether it's enough. He doesn't know exactly what his opponent's up to. But, like, Onimusha's also going to be gold heavy, and he's still getting harassed on this side intentionally. Like, that's something we didn't highlight is actually it's a pretty painful spawn. And no, not like that. Not like that. That's the pain of the spawn. Most of his gold leans east. The big vein, the deer, all of it. There's this one gold vein, and he gets caught running to it at the worst possible moment. So full idle time. That's 19 workers. Well, actually, about 15 walking for the gold, right? They just weren't doing anything. Now dive towards the tree line. Wham looks to end the game. Full idle in the TC. Yumi aren't even in the fight yet. He has to use posture with the spearman, which just kind of puts them out of position. And there's just nowhere safe for the workers to be. You got Lancer still patrolling in case he sneaks out. You've got Yorishiro carrying Shinto Priest running for a run that doesn't even exist anymore. Nothing is going right anymore in this game for Otto. Even the best micro in the world cannot overcome this. There you go, folks. Proof that even if a game looks against you, your opponent gets all the sheep, gets the perfect spawn, it's never over until it's truly over. And Wham just presented that from a disadvantageous position, able to exploit his opponent's greed to get a damn impressive 320-minute victory here over Japan. Yeah, I mean, Otto hasn't tapped it out yet, but I think with this new wave of Lancers... Oh my god. Imagine being Otto in this game like, I've survived it. 20 more units enter the screen. Sometimes RTS games really do feel like you're playing They Are Billions, huh? That is crazy, man. Like, such a good start to that game as well. Don't know, maybe that one's uploadable, we'll see. Game 2, though, we're going to be heading into Receding. So it's going to be Malians versus Order of the Dragon. Right, let's hop in. Whew. No sheep RNG this time, folks. We head into game number 2 between Flodorado and Wham, and this time, it's on good old Receding. Receding, a map where the sheep spawns are consistent near your TC. It means that you can just gather them straight away and then move into other tasks and shenanigans out on the map. And, well, Flodorado is up to some good old classic deer gathering shenanigans with OOTD. A civ that always loved to move out to this close spawn deers with a mill. It's going to give him an accelerate timing into feudal. His opponent is going to be on the Malians. Wham got a civ that has, I think, consistently remained a top 3 pick here in Receding. The thing about Receding is you don't have much in the way of safe room to build farms. So any civ that's compact to their food gathering, i.e. you can spam cattle ranches or the cattle themselves to eat, or things like House of Lancaster with their manors, these type of civs are going to feel very comfortable because of the fact that you don't have to go out into the mid-map and expose yourself with your farming. Yeah, Receding is very unique in that regard. You know, there's other maps that can maybe be comparative in the idea like Socotra and Mountain Clearing, but those games tend to end before you get to farming stage. The interesting thing about Receding is it's somewhere between the size of Mountain Clearing and Socotra and Dry Arabia. And, you know, if you think about it, like, the spawn difference is kind of comparative to Cliffside between the TCs, but the difference is you don't have all this terrain behind you to build on. Curious to see how Otto wants to try and approach this one. I mean, is this going to be like a good old-fashioned men-at-arms spam? Does that really work against Malians, though? Like, this is a civ that does have anti-armored units in Age 2, remember. We are going to get secure on the north side. Meanwhile, Otto didn't try to contest that. No, he didn't want to fight into the Vanguard Scout, surprisingly enough. It's a little bit of a gamble on whether you win or lose that fight, right? By the way, you only start with a small baby vein in your base, so if you think you can camp here for a long time, you're wrong. 1,600 gold. Then you have to move out to the forts. Wham, like most Malian players, is going to take advantage of that tiny pit mine, even though it doesn't look that impressive. He's got room for another house, which is quite nice here, actually. And the Mansa is going to be in the Ford. Second gold is really close, so he'll easily be able to set up a pit mine there as well. I wonder, is it going to be mine work? Arkan could be kind of interesting, but I just don't think the stone is desirable here. Like, I mean, actually, you could 2TC against Malians, right? Is that the craziest idea here? On a normal sized map, it probably feels quite good. On a map this small, the claustrophobic nature might like punish you too easily. But we have seen 2TC historically as a very powerful play into Malians, and also has been looking really good on OOTD recently. Like, that's something we've been seeing out of Wham and Puppy Paw actually specifically, is they always pick Order of the Dragon for a 2-town center build. And it's just going to be a standard mine work. Can you actually play this militarily as OOTD? So if you go Gilded Archers, your opponent can get Javelins to answer you. If you go for the Gilded Men-at-Arms, we talked about the Musafadi. Spears, I guess? Like, Spears is maybe the one thing that could kind of make sense for OOTD and Feudal in this matchup. I mean, I guess Gilded Men-at-Arms are insanely tanky, right? So it takes quite a lot of Musafadi to beat them back. I do like the beginning, just securing onto the merchant camp, getting that extra bit of resource. Otto is now going to take it away from him. And yeah, smart timing as well. I guess Wham has to stay near the base because he needs to know, is this greed play from Otto or is it aggro? Guys, realistically, it should only be aggro because look at the map we're on here. Receding only has 2 relics. There's another one that makes Otto's choice a little bit unusual. He had French or he had Roos as an alternative. Now, French here might be a bit wonky because you don't have good breadth on the map to flank raid. But I think the alternative choice of Roos could have made a lot of sense. Roos is definitely a civ that likes to leverage relics as well, but they do great with these tree lines. I guess the issue in Otto's mind, why he didn't want to go Roos, he looked at this and went, okay, if I go Roos, I'm not going to be able to really leverage Horse Archers against a likely Malian pick. So he chose probably the less of 2 poisons. Wow, he's confirming. Okay, so this is like a Burgrave. This is 100% Burgrave. He knows it for sure now with the mine work and the gold gathering. Let's see what the prep is going to be. Because you're not really going to be able to mirror the timing now, especially when you didn't start to do yourself. So the second pit mine's going to be set up. The tricky part now, actually, is if your opponent goes castle, it's not just Gilded Men-at-Arms you have to worry about. If you start spamming Musafadi early, Gilded Landsknecht could have your number. So I think this is going to sound a bit weird. Stick with me. Maybe the way you have to go here as Malians is going to probably end up being like, what, Musafadi plus Archer? Which isn't bad when you eventually go castle. Like, actually, there's a really cool build there that's undervalued, but pretty succinct in this matchup. And that would be Farimba Mansa. But looking at the ranchers, I think Wham instead is just going to go for the tried and true. And I sigh a little bit because I see this build way too many times. It's Fulani time. What are you talking about? Racine has 5 relics, just need to garrison. Exactly, right? Like, you should have went for the delayed 2TC or the Dragon build. Just, in fairness, in theory, like, Atri and OOTD are civs that shouldn't hate the Forgotten Runes that much, considering, like, once you tech, you can then just start spamming rune placements. But it's just, it would hamper your fast castle timing so much. It's why we don't really see civs utilize the Forgotten Runes for the purpose of getting relics. Like, I think actually they might need to alter the value slightly. To me, I'd say 6 minutes is way too long. 4 minutes is quite reasonable. I might make that suggestion to the dev just to decrease it by, 33%. Because it's cool. I like that it means that you're not just playing civs that fast castle rush, but what you've got right now is certain civs that try to cheese the stone gathering, and then others that just ignore relics the entire game. Maybe it's just because we've got maps like this where it's 3 out of 5 relics are locked in. Maybe it's not too bad when it's 2. So Burgrave on the way. Florida Otto's fort has to be gravitating immediately towards Men-at-Arms, and there it is. Golden Cuirass has already been queued. So he is just looking for a flood point. Wham is already getting the racks prepped. Musafadi will be the pristine answer. What he's got to keep an eye out for, what's dangerous for him, is if there's a switch between MAA and Landsknecht. Even Gilded Archers would be pretty sick if Otto actually... Like, you don't rush Archers. You have to remember these Men-at-Arms are absurdly expensive at this stage of the game. But once you've got a few of them out, adding an archer range, just scaling a few Gilded Archers is a good counterplay into Musafadi. It's going to make you very static, but you're always going to be slower than Musafadi anyway. Wait, did he try and hide it? Nice. Good read. Otto sees him. The T-pose. Like, wait, we've been spotted. We're meant to be stealthed. I don't know about that one, dog. By the way, like, can we break the immersion and explain how stealth actually works? Because they don't even sneak or anything, right? They just get a weird little outline effect on them. That's it. Like, you know, can we get some custom animations here? Maybe they turn into a bush. They ghillie suit up. Or, like, have them creep, like Pink Panther style, through the museum. Give me something to work with here as a caster, please. I guess not. We do have the Gilded Spinman switch now. Yeah, he actually went Gilded Knight, which has forced Donzo reaction out of Wham. Is that intentional? Oh, wow. Yeah, he scouted that Knight super early. So Otto, I think he was hoping to raid in and then force a reaction into the Knights. This played out a bit different. Why stop a deer? He wants to gather and protect. Otto is going to be running out of deer fast here. You have to remember, Gilded Villagers are not slow on the gather rate. He's already exhausted the first pack now. So he wants to be secure. He's even deer shoving them in, as you can see, just to optimize. First Knight creeping in, but Wham does see him now. Now, the timing is actually pretty good to disrupt the tech up. Look at the resources. The problem is Otto didn't keep the scout here, folks. He sent him home. Yeah, so he's full riding blind. He's going to dive in maybe a little bit too early, but able to jump in. Greedy Boy goes for the double kill. Ends up... No. Okay, he'll at least get one, but that's painful. That should have been a double kill. This is the problem with just being so high up on a horse. Everyone looks small to you. Sometimes you swing, you just hit the wrong thing, you know? There we go, Filani coming in. Also, was the plan to go, like, Imperial off of this? I don't know, man. Like, he's holding resources. He looks like he's in a bit of a panic. The Musafadi jump in on the middle of the map, Gilded Villages, and they're just ignoring the infantry. Because they have no movement speed. Oh, the difference that one Land Snake would make. If you had the Land Snake, then all of a sudden you can't dive like that, because one swing of the sword's going to lose you about a third of your health. Just stands ground now. Mostly spears. Wham, however, may have underestimated said spears, even in hardened form. Yeah, if he actually had veterancy, very different fight. It's a good hold by Otto, but painful damage taken. He's at least returned the blows he took due to that Knight, who dove in again. Did die. Yeah, that's going to be 1,000 resources lost.